Oh, finally a Justice League movie that everyone enjoys, right? Justice League, The New Frontier, released in 2008, and is directed by Dave Bullock, and is also starring David Boreanaz, Miguel Ferrer, Neil Patrick Harris, Lucy Lawless, Kyle MacLachlan, Phil Morris, Kira Sedgwick, Brooke Shields, Jeremy Sisto, and Keith David. And this film is based on a short series of comics called DC The New Frontier that was released between 2004 and 2005. And this is back when the DC animated world was just getting started. A couple of years previous to this, they opened up with Superman Doomsday, which was half okay. But then along comes The New Frontier, and that is a big home run in my opinion. In the years after the Cold War, the Earth has started to see weird, strange signs from the super anti-villain, the Center. A strange, all-powerful creature who seeks out to destroy any creatures who are destined to destroy the living inhabitants of Earth. But this time around, the DC Golden Age Trinity, Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, are no match to take on the Center themselves. So they must rely on the new Silver Age of the DC hero, which include major hitters The Flash, Martian Manhunter, and the Green Lantern. And that is probably why I really enjoy this film, is that we don't really focus on our Golden Age Trinity. We don't really focus on Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman. They've been kind of done to death. At least definitely Batman and Superman. And don't get me wrong, I love my Batman and Superman. I'm a huge Batman-Superman fan, but there are a lot more heroes out there that I would love to see on the big screen, or on the small animated screen. I don't care. So to watch a film where the three major protagonists are the Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, and the Flash, sign me up. And this was representing the time in comics where the Superman origin, the Wonder Woman origin started getting tweaked and twerked around here and there. Just audiences were wanting something new with their DC comics and their DC heroes. Heck, they just want a new DC hero. And I think this film does a great job at bringing them to the screen. First up, we have Hal Jordan, who was a pilot during the Korean War and was famous for never really firing a gun in his plane that he flew. Unfortunately, up until the final day. So he's a character that appreciates life and wants to conserve it. And he has a dream of one day going to space, going to the stars, and that's where Ferris Airline comes in. They recruit him, he's passing all of their tests, and you really start to dig this character and his relationship with Carol Ferris. Then moving along to Martian Manhunter, they never really explain how Martian Manhunter or John Jones comes to Earth. The scientist who he's cradling at the beginning of the film, he's dying of a heart attack because he's in shock from seeing this Martian, says he opened up a teleportation field, but he was in a planetarium. Yeah, I'm just going with it. And this Martian has the capability of shape-shifting himself so he can blend in with the humans and live amongst them for a couple of years. John Jones, you know, he was really always my favorite character, at least when I was watching Justice League, the animated series. He's very much like Superman, where he has almost the same type of powers he does. But unlike Superman, he's not trying to be human. He likes to study us, he thinks that we're fascinating, but he really embraces his Martian roots, which I think is a trope that is just so overly done when we have any aliens coming to Earth. Oh, I want to be more human. Or we have an android like in Star Trek who wants to become more human. Here's finally an alien who really wants to just be an alien, but enjoys watching us. That just really caught my eye this time around. And then Barry Allen's The Flash, and you know, as I'm thinking about it, we really didn't get a lot of him. He's a big player, especially when we get to the climactic battle of this film, but in terms of like his origin, some reasoning as to why he feels that he needs to help people and why he got these powers, we don't really get any of that. He's very surface level, which that's kind of disappointing as I'm talking about this. But that's okay. The two major players that you're going to walk away from this film really loving is Martian Manhunter and Green Lantern. And the concept behind this film is actually really cool. We get a lot of superhero origins all tied into this center antagonist business. A nuclear bomb goes up into space, explodes. That's what causes Abin Sur's ship to crash land. His ring goes find Hal Jordan. I like how everything's tied together, and it's a one-off. It's an Elseworlds tale. It doesn't have any connectivity into any ongoing storyline. And as a superhero fan and a comic book reader, it's nice to have just those one-off stories. You don't have to worry about, oh, who's gonna cameo? How does this play into this story and to this series of arcs? No, it's just nice to have a nice singular story. And that's what this is. Now, Bruce Timm, who did Batman the Animated Series, I believe he was a producer on this film, and you can tell by the design concepts and the characters that you see, they're very Bruce Timm-like. Big, broad chest, small waist, huge calves. And when it comes to DC animation, I mean, Bruce Timm is really... he is the Mount Olympus of DC animation. And I like the majority of the voice acting here, in particular Jeremy Sisto as the voice of Batman. It's dark, it's gravelly without an actor trying to gravel his voice like Christian Bale. I'm not wearing hockey pads. Some of the dialogue, though, was pretty cheesy and very one-liner-esque. Today, there are no Republicans, no Democrats. We are all equal. Yeah, that's not true today. But cheesy dialogue and one-liners like that, it represents that time when we were still trying to hold on to that black and white world that we had like during World War II and World War I, where there was a good force and an evil force. And then when we started getting into the 60s and 70s, lines started getting blurred. Very hard to figure out what the right side is, if there is one. But I think that's why people started gravitating to these characters like the Flash, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter more, because they were a little bit more human than Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman. Whereas they were the peak, the pinnacle of what humanity aspires to be. Here are these three characters that seem very down to earth and very human, even though they might be an alien. And I love seeing all the classic designs of the original Trinity. Batman with the super long ears and the purple glove, and Superman has his black emblem on his chest, and Wonder Woman is more in a skirt. I like those classic designs. Doesn't beat the modern day ones, I gotta admit. I like those more, but it's nice to visit this time. Guys, in the end, Justice League: A New Frontier is a great starting to the DC animated movie world. The animation is very clean. There's a lot of great battles in here and action sequences. We're not focusing on our standard trinity of DC characters. We're focusing on the newer breed and the smaller heroes. But if anything kind of turns you off to this film, it's the dialogue. Sometimes it seems very stale. But a good thing about this film also is that it's an hour and 15, which to me it feels longer, and that's actually a compliment. It feels like this is a big cinematic experience. But I definitely recommend you check out Justice League: New Frontier if you haven't. If you've liked any of the other DC animated films, which they've been knocking it out of the park, more so than not, you're gonna love this film. I'm gonna give Justice League: The New Frontier 4 out of 5 Blu-rays.
It's good. It's good.
Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part in my video, where I pick which movie I'm going to be watching next, and this one is a fan recommendation from Dan Hensley, who is one of my big supporters here on YouTube, so thank you very much, Dan. You recommended No Country for Old Men. Good old-fashioned modern-day Western. But this film won Best Picture in 2007, I want to say? I know it went up the same year against There Will Be Blood, and I know that that was like the big contention that year. There Will Be Blood, No Country for Old Men. Which one's gonna take it? I think Juno also came out that year, which is a film I love, but yeah, that stood no chance. And I haven't seen No Country for Old Men in quite some time. I'm having a hard time remembering anything from it. I do know the villain that Javier Bardem plays. I forget his name, but I do know that he was a creepy MFer. And he had the gas tank and the little hose that he would just shoot air, concentrated air through your skull. If you're gonna be a killer on the run, good way to do it. But I am very excited to check this film out, so thank you very much, Dan, for the recommendation. If any of you have recommendations of films that you want me to review on here, please just leave your comment below or go to my Facebook page, my Instagram, or my Twitter. Leave your recommendation there, and if I have access to it, I will watch it, review it on here, and give you a shout out on the channel. So everyone, have you seen Justice League: The New Frontier? What did you think about it? Or if you've never seen it before and you stumbled across it because of this video, please comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And when you're done commenting, please like and subscribe to my channel so you know the next time I post my next movie review. So everyone, I will see you next time with my review of No Country for Old Men. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.